although he can never die from disease, he can never be cured himself.
And is that you, or did you create that one?
Yes, I created that one.
Okay. You're quite well read, aren't you? Where do all your other influences come from, Michael? The other kinds of research you've done over, where are you bringing these things in from?
I've taken influences from British culture and also Japanese culture as well.
Excellent.
And also a bit of American culture as well.
Okay, so talk about the Japanese culture that you're interested in.
I've taken a lot of like stuff from like Japanese anime, which is pretty much obvious, by the way, and taken a bit. And what I found about them is like how they actually view British culture, because I've done a lot of like pieces about like English mythology, that kind of thing.
That's superb.
And this is part of like the whole like theme of it, like the whole the theme I'm adding to is Uncle Silas is basically like how man's quest for knowledge and power and fortune can be kind of a bad thing as well as a good thing. And
so man's quest for fortune and power can be a bad thing as well as a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that relevant today in terms of the world and what's happening in the world today? Can you see any relevance there?
I mean, I said it would be really, especially during the knowledge part of it. Like everyone treasures knowledge so much, but sometimes they forget about like how to be a decent person, really.
Okay. So perhaps some of are you planning on using some of those influences within your storytelling, and actually so people can look at this and take some meaning, some morality out of it that they can then use in a day-to-day life, right? Okay.
And one thing I hope that emphasises it clearly is SABRE, which is basically the Sweden Boarding Alliance of British Research and Engineering. It was how I pieced it together. It's like this was a secret project during the 60s, during the Cold War, and it was like a British alliance along with like other people from the Allies to keep the peace between America and Russia, and by searching out different like technology and that kind of thing. That's what it told the public. What they actually were the British Empire's last ditch attempt to keep capitalism on top and to find basically new technology and also magic without the need for ethics and morality.
What kind of things have you read then?
Read.
What kind of things have you looked at in terms of research for this? Where does it come from?
Honestly, I don't know where to get. I don't know where to find out from this kind of piece together. Like I've just noticed like how piece together how cults work, that kind of thing, and sometimes it can be somewhat endorsed by the government and like see how it pieces together. Obviously, the cult forms from that, and even betrays its own government anyway. So, and the main place it takes part of is the University of Bartram Hall.
Okay.
Okay. Each individual web series took place at different universities, and so I've basically created my own. And we got like different houses, kind of like the houses from like Hogwarts, that kind of thing. I was just like help with like the fan base and stuff. Like sometimes the fans like to put themselves into different teams, that kind of thing.
Is there an opportunity though, Michael, to sell stuff to your fan base?
I'm not sure, given the source material. I'm not sure if I have to give copyright because, or then again, is Uncle Silas in the public domain, which is, I mean, yeah, but most likely will be, but.
So you created all of these, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. So you want all of those? Those on a T-shirt would look really cool, wouldn't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So how you then monetize what you're creating a product. Part of what you need to do as well is to identify how you're going to then market that product, monetize it, distribute it, and I think if you really want to do 10 episodes, it is achievable. It's difficult, but it's achievable. If they're 1 minute long each, if you divide them up in the right way. And you certainly thought very, very hard about that. I think you that's great. So yeah, there's perhaps a side thing. You can then start developing your own product line, your own T-shirts, or whatever, your mugs, pens. People with all of those logos on. You're absolutely right from a span's point of view. They want to align themselves with one or the other.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, that's basically part of that main, that main presentation there. Just to end off, this is like this is the project I really focus on the most. Like I said before, my fundamental project is my YouTube channel, and basically just adding as much as I can. But I'll start with this, and if I have any time, I'll see what else I can do.
So you talk about your YouTube channel, but surely is your YouTube channel the channel you're going to create to host this?
Yes.
Right, okay. So there's also some research to do in terms of how to set one up, how to then market one, pitch one, how to create a fan base. You might even be looking for creating teaser trailers, sticking those on, because you've already identified all of the fan bases, haven't you? They're all the forums, all of the groups they're niche audiences, aren't they? And they'll be very loyal to things like that. So, what are the dangers for your project then? What kind of things do you think you're gonna not struggle with, but what kind of things you have to overcome to be able to then create this?
I think one of the most is kind of like I guess backlash or something, because like I am basing my stuff not only of a existing source material, but also like an existing universe as well. I'm basically putting this as the same universe as Camilla. So I worry if I get any backlash for it or something.
Yeah, I mean that's a sensible thing. In the world of YouTube, the world of fandom, this is a fan-made production, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a legitimate thing. And that's always going to be an issue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you prepare for that one then?
One of the things I was doing was I was gonna like send an email to like one of the directors and ask them like maybe permission or maybe some advice, but I'm not the best writer with email, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about it.
Do you think you need permission?
Well, if it is a fan-made thing and not like being monetized, I don't think permission is a massive problem with it.
I would potentially agree with you. But we could do some research on that. You could perhaps identify ways in which, or different versions. So if different versions, different options, so you could perhaps move ahead like that. Okay. What about the production itself? So how many people will you need to be involved? How long is it going to take to shoot? What kind of what kind of potential problems do you expect to have to overcome?
I think the biggest problem would be actors.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem I've always had was like I've always had more characters than I have actors. That's the problem.
I think there's a way around this, though, isn't there? If you're thinking about doing this in simple 1-minute scenes, those aren't going to take. And it depends how you pitch them up. If you don't have all of the characters in the scenes at any one time, if you can divide it up like that, then it becomes logistically more achievable. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. In terms of actors, are always going to be difficult. And how old are most of the actors that you need to then find?
Possibly like 3 or 5 or something. I might need a few adults in there as well.
Right. Okay. Locations then. What have you thought about? You're going to set this at a university, but it looks like
dorm room really. Like you just have looks like a bedroom or something like someone that lives in.
You're saying you're setting this in an existing university. What is that existing university? Is it something that could be set now? Is it contemporary? Is it 2017, or is it something that is of a different time period?
I've always pictured it as like a different time period kind of place, but like I'm just basically gonna like put it in a modern place for now.
I think perhaps you have a look at. There might be a couple of films to have a look at that seem as if they're a bit timeless. and are set in, they're contemporary, but they could be set in like the 80s or 70s. So things like Napoleon Dynamite, I think it was at 2005-6.
Yeah.
But it was set. It looked like it was the 80s. You know, everything you suggest it was 1984, 5, 6. Submarine. If you've seen Submarine, that doesn't necessarily have a time period attached to it. And it might be little nice things you can play with that. If you're talking about steampunk and bringing in steampunk influence, there might be the one or two little props that you can then set aside that just take it out of this current universe. I mean, it could be 2017, but an alternative 2017.
Yeah.
That would get you away with, filming it. Most things look modern, but actually there's one or two things that aren't, that are a bit odd, they're a bit different. So he's an alternative version of the world. And that's how you work out creating your universe. That could work. Costume, think about costume. You do cosplay a lot, don't you? So how much of the cosplay influences you here?
Obviously, I've just like the students will just be normal clothing, like normal everyday clothing, and then as for like the teachers, they'll be a bit more fantastical in a sense.
Okay. Right. I think you still need to think about where you can shoot this. But logistically, I think your issue is getting hold of people.
Yeah.
I think you can be a bit more creative in terms of the way you shoot this. And I would perhaps move away from just your single shot.
Yeah.
And I would move into making it look more like a TV production or a film production. Remember, we've got a TV studio next door. It'd be perfect for that. Now you build a setting, make it look really cool. Can we do that? I don't know. Possibly we can. Possibly we can take that TV studio stuff out. If you find a really good location elsewhere, we can shoot the lot in 2 days. That would be quite good, wouldn't it? I think there's a lot of scope there. So what we need to do is sit down and have a think about how we do this. Am I going to guess?